Vikings Circle, Kirk Cousins, QB1.
Gabe, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. So I've never done anything like this, but I know your car is called Gandalf the White.
Yeah, which actually I learned after the fact, it should be Vandolph the White.
Gandalf the White. So is this a Lauren? Like, can we call this a Lauren?
Sure, absolutely. That works well.
I'm not a big
Lord of the Rings guy.
I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy, but I know a little bit about Middle Earth. But the most important thing is we now have a name.
I love this thing.
For the car for Vikings Circle.
This is awesome, all electric.
So I know you are a Middle Earth guy, and the only thing I do know about Middle Earth is the great music, the music of Ainur. Is that? Am I?
Now you got me. Now you're getting way deeper than I know. Really? I just know the movies.
Okay.
I know the movies. I love the story because I do think there are so many parallels to real life. Mm-hmm. And whether it's Gandalf or Aragorn or Gimli, all these different roles, I just think that there's parallels to real life, and I kind of joke with my teammates about it. A lot of the guys that are my age that are still playing grew up seeing those movies, and so it's just kind of a fun thing for us to joke about.
Speaking of jokes, I feel like social media had a big joke in November of 2020 when the I guess the musical Kirk Cousins when you singing.
You seen that?
Woman walking down the street, pretty woman. The kind I like to meet, pretty woman.
So why musicals? Like that was hilarious, but like it takes a lot of confidence to do that.
Well, my mom put me in some stuff with my siblings when I was a little kid, and so we love music. We love going to musicals.
Okay.
And in high school, we were in high school choir is one of the classes we took, and then there's a choir you would try out for.
Okay.
And it's like a varsity sport basically, and so at my high school, a lot of people tried out for it. I tried out for it. I was lucky enough to make it, and ended up being in that for a few years and had fun with it.
Yeah.
And so never thought the videos would surface on YouTube, but I should have known better, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen. So sure enough, it got out there, and I think some people were surprised to see that. But I mean, that's gold.
Yes.
For anybody in the locker room finding that's absolute gold.
And the fact is, like, if you couldn't sing, I feel like that would have been worse.
Even worse. Oh my goodness.
But the fact that you can.
Well, I appreciate that. That's I'll take coming from you. That's a big compliment. I appreciate that. So it was good that I was somewhat on pitch.
So are you a type of guy that sings loud in the house?
I like to sing. Yeah, I like to sing. I don't love to sing on camera, but I like to sing. Mostly in the shower.
I'm not gonna make you sing today.
Mostly in the shower, hanging out at home. In privacy, in the car, whatever. But I love music, and so I'm trying to. A lot of these guys on the team are pretty young. I got to teach them about some of the music I listened to growing up because it was long before they were listening to it.
Was it like musicals that you listened to? Like
no, just even the pop music sometimes. Okay. But it's fun sometimes too because I'll say, hey, and I'll hear a song in the locker room. I'll say, man, this came out when I was in middle school, and the guys still know it. And I'm like, how do you know this song? You weren't even born yet,
Yeah.
But
they call you Uncle Kirk.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting up there now.
Yeah. Well, I know you say you like to sing at home, sing in your car. Like, I know you have a video of your son Cooper singing "We Will Rock You." How would your kids describe you?
Oh man, that's a great question. I would think they would say that I'm pretty goofy, with them. we ride around the car, listen to all kinds of music with them. I try to expose them to a lot of different things, and it's so fun to see the world through their eyes. They're so little, so impressionable, and I'm so excited too because they, for 2 years with COVID, haven't been able to be around, practice and be in the facility, and so I'm really looking forward to this training camp, having them out and having them around because it's fun to have them be a part of everything.
So at this point in your life or in your career, are you chasing happiness or chasing experiences?
In football, I'm chasing both. I'm trying to experience wins, and that's going to make us all pretty happy. But I think off the field for me, I think experiences are a big deal to me, and quality of life and being able to make some great memories with family. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, here on the field is making great memories with teammates.
And I feel like for your position, you have to be curious. Like you strike me as a guy that's just like very curious about just like.
I think that's fair.
Like so how do you combat that when you have people that are curious about you? So I'm just speaking of like literally, the NFL, we pass the ball way more than run the ball, but a defensive coordinator, a linebacker, a quarterback, they're trying to be curious to think the way you think. So how do you combat that?
Yeah, I think you're always trying to get inside the opponent's head and say, all right, what are they expecting and how can I fool them? Football is such a cat and mouse game and a thinking man's game, and so there's a lot going on, long before the ball's ever snapped, to try to, master those X's and O's and put the defense at a disadvantage. And so there's a lot of studying, a lot of conversations too in the locker room, talking to guys like Eric Kendricks, saying, hey, how did you see that? How did you defend that? What would be tough for you there? And then vice versa, they're asking me the same thing.
How do you process all of that? So like, how do you process when you have the curiosity and you have your plan in place, or like just being a dad? How do you process the unknowns?
Well, I think experience and reps makes a big difference. I mean, there were times when things that I do instinctually now, when I got to Michigan State as a freshman, I remember thinking, I'll never be able to do that. I'll never be able to see the shell of the coverage and remember to send a motion and remember the snap count and remember my footwork and remember where the ball needs to go after the snap. There's just so many things to be thinking about, but you work at it long enough, you do enough reps, you study it long enough, you start to do it without thinking, and it becomes instinctual and a part of who you are. And really with a new coach now, that's kind of where I'm at, is trying to go back to the basics and learn things and get them to a point where it's instinctual again.
All right, I'm gonna get you out of here with this, because we started this thing off talking about musicals, right? And I know this year is your 8th year as a starting quarterback, going into a year knowing you're gonna be the starting quarterback. So if you had to, let's put it this way, if you had to describe your career up to this point as a musical, what would scene number 8 be?
Scene number 8. That's my 8th year coming up.
Yep.
I think scene number 8 needs to be just after intermission.
Okay.
You usually have like 3 acts in a play or in a musical, so this is probably the beginning of Act 3. And that's where things really start to pick up, and you go to a whole new level. So that's what I'm expecting out of year 8.
I'm looking forward to it, Kirk. It all starts with you. Vikings fans are excited, and it's just a new breath of fresh air. So thank you for hopping on today, and thank you for providing that fresh air for Vikings fans.
Appreciate it, Gabe. Ready to get to work, man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.